Hey, how you doing? This is just some guy named Jay, and you're listening to Relationship War Stories. And basically, if you're a regular listener, subscribers are too good for radio, and you've heard Relationship War Stories, you probably noticed I took a break from doing it. And I took a break from doing Relationship War Stories because I just wasn't getting the kind of responses and the traffic for that particular podcast. So I, had to, put it on hold, put it on probation, and focus on the podcasts that actually do get the hits, like the Saturday Night Live fan podcast, and the other podcasts that I do that are performing a lot better than Relationship War Stories. But I decided to bring Relationship War Stories back because Robinlynne, the program director and host of Vibes Live Radio, she's been actually playing a lot of the relationship topics from Relationship War Stories on Vibes Live, on the live stream. And callers have been calling in and making responses to the topics that I've been doing. And Robinlynne herself said that she would like me to continue doing Relationship War Stories because that's one of her favorite, out of the other podcasts I do, is particularly one of her favorites. And she kind of encouraged me to say, yeah, keep doing it, just definitely keep doing that. And I'll definitely keep playing the topics on my radio show, which is what she said. And get the callers involved and things like that. And also, she's been sending traffic my way for Relationship War Stories. So I'd like to thank Robinlynne. And you can also check out Robinlynne's live stream, Vibes Live, at vibeslive.com. And I'm going to put the link in the information box below so you can listen to that. And enough about me blabbing on. I actually took one of the segments she sent me a piece of the segment that she played of my podcast on her radio show, and I pretty much want to share that with the subscribers just in case you don't tune in to Vibes Live. I'm playing a little bit of this show here after I'm done talking, so you guys can hear it for yourself. And also I encourage all my listeners to go over to Vibes Live and listen to the live stream. And again, you can do that by going to www.vibeslive.com to do that. All right? And yeah, all right, let me shut up and let me play the show.
So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and start off the celebration. And we're going to listen to just a bit from Too Good for Radio. Now, Too Good for Radio, he's got the Saturday Night Live podcast. He has Relationship War Stories. He has The Green Light, amongst other podcast series over there. And he wants participation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to help him out. And we're going to actually watch something from, I'm going to play the introduction. So it explains how the Relationship War Stories go and what he's looking for. And then I'm going to play an episode. And then we're going to give him the feedback and ship it back to him, okay? Okay, thanks. Glad you asked. All right, now pay attention. This is very important, and this is being recorded. So don't blow your nose or cough or scratch your butt while we're listening, okay?
Don't get me started.
Somebody stop me. Drops keep falling off my head. Okay.
You're now listening to Relationship War Stories, and I'm your host, just some guy named Jay. And this is a new podcast on this station, and basically what this podcast is about giving relationship advice. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, who am I? I'm no expert. I'm no Dr. Phil. I'm no Dr. Laura. I'm no Dear Abby. I'm none of that crap. What I am, though, I'm just an a-hole with a podcast and a second opinion. And relationship topics are always hot-button issues to draw more ratings. So I say, hey, why don't I throw my hat in the ring and start doing this too? So basically, if you have any things you want to say about your own relationships, have any questions or anything you want to be on the show, definitely email us at podcastsondemand@yahoo.com. And you could be a guest, or we can answer your questions. And, like I said, I'm no expert. I'm just a guy to give a second opinion. Just basically use this forum as a sounding board to get whatever's going on and just get it off your chest. I also want to give a little warning too. Now a lot of these relationship podcasts and a lot of these relationship advice columns and things, they have a bunch of they say a bunch of airy, fairy, feel-good stuff like, oh, it's about the caring and sharing and people being there for you and all that stuff like that. Well, you know what? I'm not going to I don't get into that. Basically, I'm just going to say things that I think is real. Uh-oh. Give you the real deal. None of this, none of these feel-good slogans, none of these things like that. I'm going to just give my brutally honest opinion about things. But that's basically the type of things we're doing on this podcast. And if you want to be a guest, you want to talk about your relationships, or basically want to have your questions answered on the show, like I said, reach out to us at podcastondemand@yahoo.com, and we'll definitely get to you. And again, I'm just some guy named Jay, and this is Relationship War Stories.
All right, that's some guy named Jay, Relationship War Stories. Okay, so now we're going to go to an episode, and we're going to listen to it with an ear to give feedback. Now, this is going to be really interesting. I like it. All right. Okay, here we go.
You're now listening to Relationship War Stories, and I'm your host, just some guy named Jay. And in this installment of Relationship War Stories, I want to talk about, I just want to get your opinion on something. And feel free to post your opinion in the comment section. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, you can email me at podcastondemand@yahoo.com. I want to put that email address in the information box below as well. Now, I was listening to this song by Rhyme Scheme. Rhyme Scheme is a West Coast indie-based hip-hop recording artist, and the name of his song is called Can't Stop, and it'll be on his forthcoming All Black album. I'm going to put the link to the song, for you, so you guys can check it out too. And I'm going to put his promotional website up there too, so you can check him out, check out more things by him. But I was listening to the hook of the song. And the song, though, he has a female, R&B singer on the hook saying, ain't no stop. Now, I can't sing, especially not as well as she can. But she's saying, ain't no stopping what I do. It's just me. It's just me. And, and I started thinking, what are some things that you're just not going to stop doing? Because a lot, when you get into a relationship, you start getting serious. Sometimes your partner, who you're with, will like you to stop doing certain things because it's not about you anymore. It starts to become about you guys as a couple. What are some things that you're just not going to compromise with? And I don't feel that you should because I'm stubborn like that too. There's some things that I'm just not going to stop. I don't care who I'm with, who I'm not with, what happens. I don't care if you don't like it. There's the door. I just want to get your opinion. What are some things that you're just not going to stop doing? And also, too, what are some things that, when you got into a relationship, maybe your girlfriend or your boyfriend, wanted you to say, well, I don't, you got to stop doing that now that we're together. And you're like, nah, forget that. Well, I just want to get your opinion. What are some things that you would not stop? Ain't no stopping what you do. It's just me. It's just me. What are some things that are just you? And you're just not going to stop. And because, like I said in one of the previous podcasts, if you got to do too much compromising, you're with the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? If you got to do too much give and take compromise, I feel that forget that. So what are some things that you're just not going to compromise on? Feel free to put that in the comment section below. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, talk about some things that you're just not going to give up, some things that you're just not going to change. Feel free to hit me up on podcastondemand@yahoo.com. And there we go. Also listen to the song too. All right, it's by Rhyme Scheme. It's called Rhyme Scheme, and it's called Can't Stop. All right, and that's all I like to say. I'm just some guy named Jay, and you've been listening to Relationship War Stories.
I call myself going to play that. Rhyme Scheme was just here when that album dropped. Actually, well,
you're not listening to Relationship
he was going to be here, but I was late. But he was way cool, and he sent his partner Revolver Cobain came instead. So I'm just impressed. Okay, now let's talk about that. We have we have someone who's been married a long time and someone who hasn't been married as long a time as the other one who's been married a long time. So I would like to get some feedback from the both of you. So let's start with the younger one. Were there some things that you did or didn't do, such along the lines of what we just perused over there on Relationship Wars on Too Good for Radio with sometimes some guy named AJ?
Who are you asking?
What?
Are you asking Brian? Yes. Okay. No, I was listening to that. That is very, very true. Like he was saying that there is things that like if you're getting a relationship or if you are married or if you are, there is things that you as a person grew and basically learned from that, and you take that into your own. And you make it your own. So I mean that was a very, very good topic. I was like wanting to be on there talking with him. You know what I mean? Because it was very listening. It was very I was listening in. You know what I mean? I was tuned in. I was wanting to hear more. You know what I mean? So it was really good, and that's very, very true. Because like I said, with my music, I do it night and day. You know what I mean? And if someone wasn't to like that, oh well, that's just who I am. You know what I mean? No matter who it is, that's what I grew into. That's what I learned to do myself, and that's what I love. And you can't just take that away from somebody. So it's like it was making a lot of sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Now that's interesting. Now, older fella, what about you? Were there some things that your wife just told you ain't doing that no more, or maybe like usually like a piece of furniture, like, oh no, you know how you blend the houses together and none of the husband's furniture ends up in the new house, and all of hers does, and they get brand new furniture. Did that happen to you, Brian? But anyway, it's not your turn. Consuming Fire, would you care to chime in on that?
I would. It's what I've experienced. I had to grow in the relationship, get out of my self-centered ways, and kind of give and take, and it's about growing together as a couple. That's what it's about. And I in the beginning of our relationship, married, I was pretty self-centered in certain things, and I wasn't, but I had to get out of that self-centeredness, because that will destroy a relationship, is being totally self-centered.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty interesting. Okay, now for me, being a woman, both speaking as a single woman and as a married woman, because I have been, am or was. You figure it out. It's none of your business. Less so. Okay, so they're like, what? All right. So from a woman's point of view, from a Robinlynne kind of way, and personal experience, in relationship, like the both of you've mentioned, like Brian, you said, you have to be able to have that freedom to do what you do, and especially if it's around your music. That's your craft. That's your livelihood. And then sometimes it's not that you don't care or yourself. It's even not that you're self-centered. It's just that really some things just don't occur to us. And then guess what? We grow up, and the only the only examples that we have of marriage and family, we get one example, and that's of our own parents, and that's it. Now, for all of our other life's endeavors, we go to school for years, sometimes for 16 years, okay, in order to go out and live life, to get doctorates in order so that we work. But we don't go out to seek that same kind of knowledge in parenting, okay? So we wouldn't expect that, okay, anyway, I'm starting to go somewhere that I'm not even trying to go. What I'm trying to say is that you have to have the liberty to be yourself. You have to be true to yourself. And I heard Jay say that you shouldn't have to compromise that much. And I've always been of a mind, you know, like especially in my most difficult relationships, wow, I always had the thought that, wow, it just shouldn't be that hard. And when I am around like-minded people and then I learn that I was right, it's not supposed to be that hard because it's not that hard. Because for one thing, the Word of God says that we are supposed to love one another, and we're supposed to help one another, and we're supposed to forbear one another, and we're supposed to forgive one another, and we're supposed to come on one accord with one another. And so, why we don't do that, I don't know. But that's still even getting away from the issue. I don't think that we're participating in this episode very good. We haven't even touched on the subject at all. Okay, Joy, I'm going to try to do this again. We did touch on the subject, but it's not really getting to where he was going at, which is in relationships when men and women get together or when they get married. Now all of a sudden, basically, you got home chickie shot calling, talking about you can't wear that anymore. Are you not okay? Okay, and really,
that's kind of what I was elaborating on. Was like you can't, no matter what it is, even if you're married or not, if it's something that you do, that's what I was going for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and I get in trouble when I say this, and I say this a lot. Don't ask me what this is because I say a lot of this, so just pick up what I'm putting down.
What is it?
Yeah, thank you. I get in trouble when I say this. It's like, look. Some controlling is controlling, okay? And so anytime someone is looking at you with disdain, talking about, why are you wearing that, or are you going to go there, and they want to put you on defense and have you explaining why you're doing something that you're doing, and they've got a problem with it, and you don't? Okay, excuse me. That's the point that the line is drawn, and that's the point that since the person does not have the sense to go away and leave you alone if they don't like you, that's the point that you, okay, now, plug your ears, because this is not the woman of God speaking. This is Robinlynne speaking, okay? Because at that point, you have the right to remove that person from your whatever I'm saying with the plot.
Premises.
Yes, from the premises. Well, and actually, because when people are controlling, and I want to say this, we got to look at it because it's really stark, okay? But we don't say anything; we let it go. You're gonna wear that, and then they have a look on their face, and what do? You go and you change it after you done picked out what you wore and put on what you wore, and you're straight with what you wore, okay? Now, if somebody is sitting there looking at something that if they don't got enough regard for you, that they're going to turn their little nose up and make you feel uncomfortable about something that they got a problem with, but you don't, okay, ring it, okay, let's screw the rolls in tighter here. Why do we go and respond to that to accommodate them? I don't know. Oh, yeah, because we love them, and we're supposed to love them, and we're supposed to forbear with them, but not when someone is not coming straight.
Come on.
Okay, because controlling is controlling, and that just ain't right. And so sisters and brothers and people that do that kind of stuff, yes, you are controlling, or bullying or whatever, and it's not nice, it's not polite, and stop it. I'm saying so quite out loud. Because, see, we put up with that, and then we go around as injured and collateral damage. And for what? You know? And for what? So, also, if you're going along, and if it is somebody's work, if you don't like or support, or you can't get with what they're doing, I mean, listen, look at this, people. If you're around somebody and you say, wow, I like this person, and you call yourself all in love with them, and you're all warm and fuzzy and all over the place, but you keep looking up and you see yourself going, well, you're going to wear that? I don't like this. And you find yourself doing that. Wake up. You really don't like that person. You really don't like that person. And you cannot take and tell that person what you don't like about them and expect for that to make them likable to you. And you don't like them, it doesn't work like that. So get it together, people. First of all, okay, let me shut up because I'm not even going where we're even supposed. Jay, I'm sorry these guys done messed up the show. None of us are sticking to the topic. No, I'm just not. I guess I'm just loquacious tonight. I think I might even bury this episode because I'm like, I don't even know. He brought up some interesting subjects, though, and I really want to thank you guys for listening in on our celebration, Consuming Fire. We're just going to move right along. What we're doing is we were just giving a little taste of all of our flavors and all of that. And so that was like a test run, and they passed, Jay. No, I passed. They, okay, anyway. So let's do this.